Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
You gonna sit up here and tell everybody right here watching this video that LeBron James couldn't have won a championship with a prime Boogie Cousins?
And here we go.
He was nowhere near the defender AD was. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And I'll stand on that.
Hey, Ron, this man on hating crack. Get him out of here, man.
No, wait. Are y'all gonna tell me Demarcus Cousins is close to Anthony Davis at his peak defensively? Are we really doing that today?
No. We all
nobody said that.
Okay, but you guys do know the reason why they won is because defensively they were like that, and also AD had his best offensive performance in the playoffs. Are we gonna say Demarcus Cousins with a straight face is gonna clear AD offensively to the point where it makes up for the defensive gap?
Let me ask you a question. Gifted. Let me ask you a question, Gifted. On that team,
what's up?
On that team, with the defensive bigs that you had in Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, that 2020 Lakers team.
This is nasty. This is real nasty.
That 2020 Lakers team.
JaVale McGee.
Hold on, bro. Let me finish my stuff.
Okay.
You asked a question. Let me answer the question. If you take out Anthony Davis and insert Demarcus Cousins in 2020. You still have Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee on the defensive end. You still win the championship. Yes.
You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. No, they do not. You're cooked. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't say
wait.
If I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say.
Hold on, the difference is AD could be on the floor with Dwight and JaVale McGee, so that
he could play with them. Yeah, right.
You're not putting
Demarcus could too.
Demarcus could too.
No,
oh my God!
This is 1972.
Y'all don't care about defense. Y'all do not care about defense to any level. Are y'all kidding me? Are y'all kidding me? You want to play Demarcus Cousins with JaVale McGee as your front court defensively? Are you smoking crack?
Gifted. Hold on. If you're telling me today's NBA, you're putting Demarcus Cousins and fucking Dwight Howard on the
They're getting cooked on the perimeter. What's wrong with y'all?
What are we doing?
Hey, I'm gonna give
You're good. No. Pause. I'm talking to Jalen. No, pause. I'm talking to Jalen. What the fuck you mean you good? What the fuck you mean you good? How are you good on the perimeter? You're getting baked on the perimeter.
You're talking about getting baked on the perimeter. Demarcus Cousins, AD's perimeter defense, the gap isn't as big as their.
Whoa! The cap! The cap is crazy.
Hold on. Let him make his point.
Anthony Davis is a better defender. Completely understand. He's a completely better defender overall than him.
Why is he a better defender? No. Break down why. Break down why for me.
Especially the rim protector, protecting the paint, blocking shots. He's better. But in the perimeter, Demarcus Cousins can stay with smaller guys closer to what AD can do than you.
Stop it. Get some help.
Demarcus Cousins at the perimeter was still a guy that can
Ron, put him in the ISO, Ron.
Now they watching. You're not watching Demarcus Cousins on the perimeter. Yes, he doesn't block shots like AD. He doesn't protect the rim like AD. But in the perimeter, as an agile big man, he can stay in front of guys just like AD can. AD's still getting cooked by a lot of perimeter guys.
No.
That's all we got to say.
This man saying with a straight face, the perimeter defense is close. With a straight face. This is why I don't fuck with nostalgia, because listen, I love Boogie, but we're not finna lie about his defense and say, oh, well, we think he's a better offensive player than Anthony Davis when they won the chip. And we also think that the perimeter defense is close enough. The gap on defense collectively, perimeter, interior, block shots, all of that in comparison to Demarcus Cousins is tremendous. And the reason why that Lakers team won is because of their defensive identity with Anthony Davis and LeBron James being utilized as a roamer in their defense.
If AD and those dudes were so gifted defensively, why were they so poor? And then AD's defense didn't take an uptick until we seen him go play with the Lakers. That's when we really saw the effect of his defense turn into wins. Because before then he was losing most of those years with the Pelicans he was losing. So what? Hold on. If you had two all-league defenders on the same team, how the hell is they 30 games a year every year until Boogie shows up? When Boogie shows up, now they won 48 games, and that was a season Boogie only played 48 games. He could play more, they probably won 55 to 60 games.
Well, this the other thing.
And we start talking about AD as an all-world next level defender until he went and played with LeBron James. Because before then, we couldn't. Hold on. Before then, we couldn't. Hold on. Let me say this. And before then, everybody was saying Drew Holiday was a great defender because we saw what he did today, right? But at the same time, nobody was screaming all of these things you guys are saying now about AD. Nobody was screaming this when he was with the Pelicans, when he was supposed to be one of the best defenders in the world, but it didn't reflect. Even though he had other great defenders on his team, they still was getting torched. Hold on. So what Gifted was saying about what Gifted was saying about AD's effect defensively. My whole point is when AD was the man and he had another dude who was an all-world defender on his team and Drew Holiday, why the hell was they getting the hell beat out of him every single year?
That has nothing to do with the comparison of Demarcus Cousins' perimeter defense to Anthony Davis' perimeter defense. This is going to be a tangent that takes somewhere else. I want to respond directly to Jalen. Jalen, that is insanity. If you're comparing Anthony Davis's switch ability on the perimeter to Demarcus Cousins, it is not comparable at all.
That is not
and something that people really take for granted. The year that they went the furthest, right? Remember, Drew Holiday, what he did today was absolutely insane, right? But Anthony Davis on the back line provided Drew so much more opportunity.
He dominated that series.
He dominated that entire series offensively as well.
He averaged 30 and 12 in that series. And by the way, to your point, which nobody brought up, just so you know who won Defensive Player of the Year that year?
Which year?
You know who was second in Defensive Player of the Year that year? It was Anthony Davis. So when we talk about a guy not being dominant as a defender, yes, he was. So that's not true.
Okay, my issue with this argument is the reason why the Lakers won the title is because when Anthony Davis was in that playoff run on both ends was the most dominant player in the playoffs, okay? What he was doing on the offensive end in terms of converting his shots at the clip that he was and the defense is why they won. The Lakers had the most versatile starting five because they could go small, and their version of small was with Anthony Davis and LeBron, where they didn't have to give up anything on defense. Sure, if you want to argue that DeMarcus would be at best a neutral defender, okay, but the difference is Anthony Davis was such a supreme plus. He was the best defender in the playoffs. That plus is what carried that roster over the top. And the fact that they weren't sacrificing anything offensively when he was literally putting up 30 a game in the playoffs on crazy efficiency, shooting nearly 40% from three on good enough volume, and he wasn't turning the ball over like that. He was the best play finisher in the playoffs as well. The balance between the dominance on offense and defense from Anthony Davis is why they won. At best, you're telling me DeMarcus would be dominant offensively, but he would not be dominant defensively. And to me, that is not enough to get through and win.
One thing the Lakers did that you ignored is they also put great defenders around AD. They had guys who could rim protect like JaVale McGee. Hold on. I'm not finished yet. They had perimeter defenders on that team like Danny Green. So, and most of those guys, they had Alex Caruso on that team. So if you want me to keep cooking your ass three the hard way, I can cook you three the hard way. Hold on. They were just here yesterday saying that Alex Caruso was one of the top 25 defenders in the league. And that's what he was doing. And AD is the anchor. Hold on. The Lakers had one of the best defenses in the league that year. It wasn't just AD. It was because if it was just AD, the same defense would have held up the next year when they changed the broadcast around him, but it didn't. They got their ass whooped in the first round.
Defense. What are you talking about?
Hold on one second. My whole point to you is this: that team had put very good defenders around AD, JaVale McGee, a rim protector who was eating a black
play with Anthony Davis. He's not doing shit without AD on the court. What are you talking about?
He was blocking shots and eating glass in limited minutes. JaVale McGee. Also, you had Danny Green, who played very solid perimeter defense. Let me finish. Who played very solid perimeter defense. Also, you had Alex Caruso, who was playing great full court pressure defense on the other point guards. Then you had Rondo, who gave you a few great minutes every single game, especially in the playoffs. Hold on, especially in the playoffs, because if I'm not mistaken, Chilltown, Rondo was making a big defensive plays against the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. Am I lying, Chilltown?
Isn't it facts that Anthony Davis's presence on the defensive end when he's on the floor benefits the other defenders, because now your job remains a lot easier when you have a roamer and a guy who can plan himself and be switchable for you. He adds to the versatility of your defense, which maximizes the entire unit. Is that not true?
That is a fact.
So you saying that if JaVale McGee is playing 10 minutes a game with Anthony Davis playing on the floor, he's raising their level. When Anthony Davis is off the floor, that defense is not the same.
Hold on,
nowhere close with those defenders.
Hold on,
Lie to me if you want to.
Hold on. Anthony Davis had an easier time being that rim protector, being the guy anchoring that defense. When you have guys like Danny Green, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Rajon Rondo in front of you defending. They're smart enough to know. They're going to get their defenders going towards Anthony Davis. They're smart enough.
Jalen.
So you're making our point. So they're guiding the defense to Anthony Davis. So you're actually going to make my point for me. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate it.
So I'm saying they helped Anthony Davis just as much as Anthony Davis helped them.
No, they didn't. That's cat. He just said some bullshit. There's no way he said that those defenders are benefiting the same. Are you serious? That's cat.
Hey, Ron, I'm gonna tell you like it is. KCP has been a starter. KCP has been a starter on multiple championship teams.
I ain't never heard no crazy shit like that before in my life, bro. Ain't no way he said that.
KCP has been a starter on multiple championship teams.
Ain't no way Jalen said that.
Bro, this dude is all cap.
I'm not gonna let Jalen get off the hook and say that they benefited the same.
Here's the answer to your question, right? 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 And Ron, I'm gonna say it to you like this. KCP had been a starter on multiple championship teams, a defensive guy. Danny Green was a starter on multiple championship teams as a championship level guy. JaVale McGee has gotten burned as a defensive guy and one of the defensive anchors on multiple NBA championship teams, and he was doing it with the Golden State Warriors too. You sorry son of a snitch, and I'm gonna put my foot on your.
Because they had Draymond Green and Kevin. What are you talking about? Oh, my bad. Because they had another elite anchor in Draymond. What are we doing? Where's the logic in this conversation?
JaVale didn't help. JaVale wasn't blocking shots.
I never said he didn't help. You're gassing it to another level. What Jalen specifically said was that they benefit in the same way and they do not. Anthony Davis significantly raises the level compared to what they raise the level to. That's fact.
Hold on, Gifted. I'm proving to you one thing. The only thing I prove to you is that AD didn't make those dudes. Those dudes were defensive guys in other places, and they did it without AD. Sucker.
Made them better to a championship level. What are you talking about?
Is nobody saying that he made them ticket, but he did make them better, which made their defense better, which caused them to win the NBA championship.
They made him look better too. You always trying to come against me, man. We're supposed to be the home team, man.
I'm not coming against you, Ticket. That's not what I'm doing.
We're supposed to be the home team.
I'm coming against this logic that Jalen is trying to sell me that Anthony Davis is an inferior defender on the perimeter to Demarcus Cousins.
No one's inferior. No one's inferior.
It's not close either, though. It's close.
That has nothing to do with going against you. Dude trying to sit there and tell me that Anthony Davis is an inferior defender on the perimeter to Demarcus Cousins.
We're moving on, okay?
That was bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit was bad.
We're moving along.
Y'all watch the games. Don't just listen to ESPN. Watch the games for Demarcus.
I don't think you watch the games at all, quite frankly.